Hey guys, so today we are going to talk about the shadow dynamic of people trying to perform and please their partner in sex, but not actually caring about their own pleasure, not actually caring about their own discomfort or how it makes them feel. It is fine to be a generous lover, and it is fine to want to be sexy and want to go wild and let your wild side out and channel any part of yourself that wants to come through you and just be unfiltered. But when we are trying to perform to please our partners, it's usually because we're trying to get security in the relationship, and is usually because we are trying to fill some void within us that says that we're not good enough, that says that we're insecure, or we were programmed that sex is about pleasing your partner. In women culture, there is a lot of programming about sex is about pleasing and making a happy husband. And in the male culture, a lot of it can be around proving your masculinity and proving that you're good enough for your woman in that way. So whether you're a man or you're a woman, there's culture around everybody trying to look a certain way, everybody trying to outperform, and you don't end up enjoying yourself in that experience. Another root cause that people end up putting all of their energy into performative sex and not enjoying themselves is because they're embarrassed of what they actually like. Maybe they're unaware of what they actually like. Maybe they're disconnected from their own pleasure. So you need to play around with what lights your fire, with what kind of experience you want to channel through yourself with your partner. Sex is the most intimate experience there is. It is a channeling of your essences coming together. And it is a cosmic union that is happening. It is some of the deepest forms of intimacy, can be if it's done right, and some of the deepest forms of pleasure and even creative manifestation energy happens. And so maybe you need to get outside the box. If you've heard of the Netflix series Five Sexual Blueprint thing that's been going around, highly recommend looking into that. And we are talking about, are you kinky? Are you a sensual? Do you like to live on, what's the naughty nose, or the touching and feeling and the slightest touch, the candles and the intention behind it. Maybe that's what turns you on. Energetic, really just building that anticipation and that energy and that feeling between two people. And everybody can be a bit of both. For women specifically, and men, y'all, don't turn this off because you need to hear this too. One of the biggest problems with sexual culture today is that it is actually programmed through a male-dominated lens to make us believe that we get turned on through penetration. That brings me to the next blueprint, which is sexual, and this means that people get turned on through the actual interaction with the sexual organs, and they just straight up, they're like, just penetrate me, that's it. Or I want to penetrate you, that's it. And there is this understanding, or this misunderstanding, shall we say, that what is pleasurable for men is the same thing that is pleasurable for women. We do not have the same organs, okay? Pure penetration really does not get most women off. And the women that it does get off, it's like a small percentage of where their orgasms could come from. You can get about 20% of your orgasms from pure penetration as a woman. You can get the other 80% by different type of sensation play with the clitoris, with the different motions between the clitoris and the vaginal canal, going into the different G spots and things like that, but not from a pure penetrative way. Something that most women don't know is that it's like the entire flower of the yoni, both the lips and the canal and all of it is like full of nerve endings, like everywhere. And so to sensually play and vibrate and rock and have motion and grind can be extremely pleasurable for a woman and bring her to multiple orgasm. And the yoni is like a flower, okay? She needs to be turned on, and she needs to be safe, and she needs to be comfortable in order to open and blossom. And this is a major reason why penetration can become uncomfortable and even painful for some women. We need to start talking about sex with our partners, and we need to start becoming intentional about it with them. I liked to rip the band-aid off with my partner just by having some cacao, which is, you know, the cocoa bean, but it opens you up into your heart, and just allowing myself to look into his eyes and start talking about it and talking about different things that I'm wanting. And just by being able to talk about it in person with him when we're not in a seriously intimate, sexy moment gives me more permission to bring up my needs in the bedroom, and gives me, like, if I can't even talk about it outside of the bedroom, then I'm going to feel silenced and ashamed and unable to release my wild woman in the bedroom. It needs to be this thing that is comfortable, that we get to explore intentionally what we like and what we don't like, and to get outside the box, and to only ever give from a place of my own pleasure. It brings me pleasure to give you pleasure, and to be in a space of channeling our union, our connection with that person, and our own pleasure and our desire to connect with them deeper and deeper through the experience. Because an experience where we're performing, where we're trying to look a certain way and act a certain way and do things for them, is just a self-abandoning experience. It's abandoning your partner, it's abandoning yourself. It doesn't feel good. And it's not what sexual intimacy is here for. So we have to break these paradigms, we have to take our power back, and we have to realize that it's always about both people's pleasure. And when we care about our own pleasure, we will automatically care about our partner's pleasure as well. And we need to stop caring about what we think we should be doing in bed and how we think we should look when we're doing it, and the positions and the way that we think it should be. Just play around with it, okay? Like, you don't need to go for pure penetration all the time. You don't need to have him penetrate you super deep. You don't need to be doing whatever position your man thinks is hot just because he thinks it's hot, or a position that he would like. Play around with positions that make you comfortable and that you like. You guys are both going to be enjoying yourself more anyways if you are never self-sacrificing or abandoning yourself in some of the most vulnerable, intimate experiences that there are. So play around with what you like, learn what you like, and catch yourself when you start to perform, because you want to turn that performance into your own pleasure, into you letting loose, into you becoming wild, into you dancing with your partner, into you channeling your life force, sensuality and sexuality and femininity or masculinity through your intimacy. Allow yourself to dance, allow yourself to play with it, and allow yourself to channel whatever you want through that sex, with consent, of course. Sex can be rageful. Sex can be romantic. Sex can be fun and wild and fucking crazy. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're enjoying yourself and your partner is enjoying yourself. But we have to always consider both of us in that experience and never self-abandon in that experience. So if you are self-abandoning, it's time to look at those shadow motivations and ask yourself, am I really getting that need met? Am I really creating relationship security? Am I really more desirable when I'm self-abandoning to do what I think he wants instead of enjoying myself? Trust me, ladies, there is nothing hotter than a confident woman who takes what she wants and is using her man for pleasure. Just go for it. Just go for what you want for a change. And any shadows that have come up for you in this video, I invite you to take a look at them. And I invite you to really ask yourself the question, am I really meeting these needs through my performative self-abandoning sex? Or are there ways that I can directly go for those needs in another way?
The sun, chariot of fire, burning with desire as he runs the race.